Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Maple Fields town, which is my town where I am showing you guys how to start an Eve town from scratch. Um, and we have had many lessons before. Last lesson, we went to go mining, and now we have a bunch of iron sitting at the mine. Now, moving all that iron with a handcart would be possible, but I don't think I want to do it that way. I want to get a horse. I feel like we are ready to get a horse. So we will get dressed first. Let's see. We got our good fancy clothes, which we got into in one of the previous lessons. And now we are getting dressed and we want to go grab a horse from somewhere. Thing is, I'm not 100% sure where there are any horses. So it's a little bit of an issue. I do need a lasso for that. So a lasso is two ropes together. And with a lasso, I can get a horse. I think there's like a desert northeast from the smithy. It is where we saw a bunch of sulfur. So maybe there's a horse in the desert? Yeah. All right, I remembered correctly. So this is easy for me. But sometimes you will not be so lucky and you will need to look around way further to get a horse. Now, if I was a smart person and if I had a town that is not just for me but for several people, I would go get apples to make a second horse. Apples are a way to breed horses. You need 5 apples in a basket, and that will breed you another horse if you feed it to them. But in this case, I don't have that. I just have this. Now, what I'm gonna do, a horse is biome locked, so it cannot escape out of a biome. So if I put it here, will it be able to cross all the way over here? I don't think so, because it needs to find an empty tile that's also a mountain biome, and it's not finding that at the moment. So this is perfect. Okay, good. So we got our horse, that's step number 1. We have a cart, a hand cart, that's sort of step number 2. But then comes leather. And yes, you are correct, leather comes from cows, and we do not have any cows whatsoever. So we're kind of stuck for now. We need to make a cow pen, we need to tan leather, we need to kill a cow, all that stuff. It needs to happen now. So let's see. I have a sharp stone with me. We also just eat from one of the pies. And what we're going to do is we're going to collect straight branches. Now, I have been pulling off these branches in lives that I played in between the lives that I record. You are also aware that my green biome is not the best. It's a small green biome and it doesn't have a maple field. Even though I named this Maple Fields Town, it doesn't have a maple field. I mean, that is just outrageous. But it is what it is, and we are going to go here somewhere, look for a nice spot for our pen. We're gonna put the animals in there. So I'm thinking maybe over here would be a good spot for the pen. It's sort of close-ish to the kitchen, maybe a little closer to the kitchen. Yeah, we could also go in this area over here and just put the animals down here. So let's lay out where we want a pen with these things. And you will need at least 2 shafts per wall. Let's call it that. And this will make sense later. So for now, what we are just doing is collecting straight shafts and praying to God that it will be enough. So let's try this. There are a few things we could do to use less shafts though. And that is, for example, use corners that are made out of stones, like these. The big hard rocks. We can turn them into stones that we can use for the corners, and then we don't need the shafts. And that would be a way to be a little bit more economical with our resources here, because shafts are needed for a lot of things. I'm not looking forward to when I need to make a wagon, because in this biome, in this economical climate, I don't think so. But it's okay. We got this. Let's just get these as well. And I fear that might be all we got. Yeah, I don't think there's anything up there. This is not much. So we will have to be economical with our wood in this situation. Luckily, we do not need any wood for making the horse cart itself, because we already have this little hand cart, which requires 1 wood. So it's sort of okay. I want 1 by 3, like this is 1 by 3. Right here is where I want to put the bison. And then there's room for 2 more cows in here. This is like the absolute bare minimum, right? So, and then you have these shafts. If you make them short, they can become entrances to the place. I could also replace one of these with a wall, but at the same time, I don't think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it like this. These are gonna become fences, and I need something else for the corners. So we are going to grab some more resources from the smithy and bring them over here, and those will be our building tools. And I will tell you what you need to bring from your smithy. So we have shovels. You do need a shovel for this. We need to chisel. Let's see if we have the chisel somewhere over here. Do we need a saw? We don't. We don't need a froe. We will need a mallet. Oh, and we definitely need the adze. The adze is one of the most important ones. So we take the adze as well. Am I blind, or is the chisel gone? Ah, there it is. Okay. Chisel, got it. And the chisel goes in the horse cart as well. Or not horse cart, hand cart. It's gonna become a horse cart if we keep this up though, but for now it's not. Now we take all of these tools with us, and those 4 tools will allow us to make a pretty pen. Now I do intend at some point to show you guys some building materials on how to make certain walls and structures, so you know how to make houses, etc. I might not make a lot of houses myself, because this is mostly for teaching you the technical stuff. It's not for making everything pretty, but in this case we are going to make a pretty little pen for our horse, or not our horse, but our cow. So we need these big hard rocks, and we need 2 in total for 4 walls, because we're going to divide the rocks in 2, and that's going to make us our corners. We also need a basket, and I'm just going to make a new basket. You will at some point need more baskets than this, so it's all good. And now if you're like, oh, just carry them to your place. Look how slow it is. Look how slow I am. It's possible though. I can do this. It's just I need to keep talking to you guys, or else you guys fall asleep. So don't fall asleep, people. Just keep watching as I walk. Also, there's a really funny thing. There are some animations that you can do on your face that have that are expressions. Like I can do ooh, but that's not an animation. That's like 1 frame, right? And happy is also 1 frame. But I think there's eye roll. Look at it. Look at the eye roll, right? You see the eye roll? Now, if you hold something that makes you slower, the eyes will also roll way slower. Do you see the eyes rolling? So it's yeah, if you do things that make you slower, it's gonna make the eye roll slower as well. So and then if you drop it, it goes back to full speed. There we go. We roll at full speed again. Now, I don't like this expression that much, but I thought maybe it was something fun to show you guys. Okay, so we're gonna make our corners. So take a big rock. This is something we will be doing in the future as well. Hit it with the mallet when you have the chisel on top. Put the chisel on again, hit it again. See, those are cut stones. Now, if we were to use these, they would make massive large walls. We don't need large walls. It's an outside pen. We can use half of it and make a half wall, and that's going to suffice for what we have in mind. So we'll just do that. We will also need stakes. That's this thing. We'll need a round stone. That's that thing. It's the same thing that you use for putting down floors, which we've done in this kitchen. And now, one more thing I'm going to say. I prefer keeping animal pens in 1 biome. So as you can see, we have a swamp biome here, and we have a grass biome here. I'm going to keep everything in the green biome. Now, I could technically move it 1 to the side. If the walls are in another biome, it's not bad. It's okay. It's not bad. But if I were to, like, for example, put the tree tiles here, it can give a few issues for certain animals if they are in 2 different biomes. And yeah, we don't want that. Also, did I not have a basket? Where did I leave it? Oh, I left it over there on the floor. Where's my basket? Okay, so how do we split this into two, into separate stones? You just take a basket, and now we have our four corners here. So I'm going to use this as the corner. There we go. And then here's going to be the other corner. Now, I didn't show you how to do the corner wall. Basically, hit the mallet with the stone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. This will make corner wall stakes. And that's what we want. We want a corner wall. So we put that over here. Put that over there. And you might say, Jesse, why are you doing this vertical? Can I do this horizontal? Technically, you can. Do I recommend doing this horizontal? No. And I will explain that to you very shortly, why I do not recommend horizontal pens. You might be like, Jesse, I've seen horizontal pens everywhere. Like, everyone's making them. Where the pen for the animal is not like this, but differently shaped. And it's not like I don't believe you, but there is a reason why I do it like this. And I will show you in a second. But first I'm making a little bit of room. We're making place so that we can put our stakes down. We know where the pen is now. So let's show you guys, okay? So we hit twice, which makes an east-west wall in this case. For the other, we will use a vertical wall, which is north-south. But for that one, it's also going to be east-west. Now, if you try to put it down, it doesn't work. You're like, what did I do wrong? You need to shovel it. You need to dig holes in there. So now it's got holes, fence holes, and then you put this in, right? Now, if you were doing a horizontal pen, then you would want your gate here, right? Now, at this moment, I don't want a gate here, but let's assume that I do. And you put your fence gate and you can walk through, right? And I'm using my WASD to walk. I'm using my keyboard. You could also click a place on the other side of the pen, right? Just clicking it manually will also allow you to move through it. Fine. But let's assume I'm a newbie and I click the fence gate twice. You see it? It is open and it remains open. And if a fence gate like this is open, your animal is going to get out. And you're going to struggle getting it back in. If ever it goes back in, it's going to be hell on earth. You do not want this. This is like the worst thing in the world to happen. You do not want your animals to just walk out there and then you're like, crap, there goes my animal. You might be like, yeah, but I don't make these mistakes. I'm like, that's fine. And personally, I could have this gate up without a problem. I probably wouldn't open it twice because I use my keyboard so much. There's very little risk of me doing that. So if you want to remove the fence gate, you hit it with a mallet and a short shaft comes off, right? So I'm not gonna do a fence gate there. I'm gonna do it vertical. And you might be like, is that not possible vertical then? No, it's not. And that is the only reason why I do these types of pen vertical. So put that in there, right? And we put our gate here, so we can walk through with our keyboard, or we can click on the other side to move through. But now, if I try to click it twice, it doesn't do it. It just opens and closes the gate, which means that this is completely animal proof. The animals will not be able to get out once my gates are in place. It's going to be safe. I will not need to curse because things are going wrong. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm just going to continue now with this wall. So for the northwest, you click it, I think, 3 times. 1 is floor. This is a horizontal wall. And 3 times is a vertical wall. And at this point, we're just digging these holes and we're putting this in, which is fine. And what we can now also do is the same thing over here, but we only click it twice because it is a vertical one, a horizontal one. Also, you might not have heard it click twice because I do it so quickly. Sometimes the sounds do not come through 100%. I apologize. I cannot escape being epic. So we're only at the first part of getting the cow right now, so... But it's fine. I know this is taking a little while, but getting animals is definitely one of those basic skills that everyone needs to know. So I'm gonna put in another gate over here. And this is already nice. You could technically put in gates everywhere. I might just save this one because we are so short on these shafts. I prefer having a little bit more of them. Now, people who make this sort of fence or a farm for animals often make it bigger. They make an area like this for the bison. The bison will have 3 babies, and then they make an area which is way bigger to the east or the west, and there they put their cows. This is all fine. I have nothing against that. I even do that myself when I play in public towns. But we are just playing in a single person town, which I do not have that many big plans for. I just want to teach you some stuff. So I'm not going to continue at this point with making a giant ass farm for it. It's fine as it is. And we're moving our horse to this pen. So there's 2 ways to keep horses, right? You could keep it inside the pen, and then you have your lasso back, right? And the horse will just walk around in your pen. It's safe, it can't escape, so all good. But this horse, we can also just hold it against the horizontal fence. So now, the horse is waiting here for a saddle, a bridle, and then for a handcart. So for now, we're just leaving that horse over there. And in here, we need to come and bring a bison baby. And once we bring the bison baby, it's gonna be hungry. And we're gonna get some food for it now. So we're going to the farm and we're going to prepare the food for it. So what they eat is corn, dried ear of corn. So we're taking the corn with us and we are hitting it with a knife so it becomes a bowl of corn kernels. And that is basically the food that our bison is going to eat. So we put that in here. We let it in here so that we kind of indicate if you have other people in town that know how to play the game and they see a pen like this and they see that there's corn in there, that person knows this is either going to be for a cow or it's going to be for a pig. It's not going to be for a sheep because you wouldn't be feeding it corn. So it's also a way to indicate like, oh, someone's working on this. They're just going to come back in a second and put the stuff down. Now, a new player might not know and might think, hey, I need to clean up this corn. That would be a lie, so don't do that. I'm also going to take the knife with us and a little bit of extra dried corn for the future cows that we are going to make. So let's take this with us. Here we go. And we put the corn down. That's perfect. So this will be for future cows that we have. And what I'm going to do before I go hunting, I'm sorry if you hear my chair creak. I have the worst chair in the world, but you know, I can sit on it, so that's good. We are going to make a tanning rack. And you might be like, Jesse, I thought we were going to get a bison. We are, but we're also gonna be killing an animal quite quickly after that, and I do not want to waste any time then. So what we have here are yew branches that come from the yew tree. And the tanning rack is made with these. So is 5 enough? I think it's 5. And a few ropes. I'm taking this with me. It's probably too many ropes, but that's fine. I think I'm gonna put it maybe over here on this side. Because over there on that side, we're probably gonna do the animal pen itself if we ever expand it. So on this side, I will not be having as many things. So what I will be doing now, taking the knife again to cut my figure 8. We will need some ropes. So 1 rope goes here, 1 rope goes here. Now you have 2 tied yew shafts and 2 tied yew shafts here. You put those on top of each other. Then you add a 3rd one, which is all alone. Nope. Do I just change? The recipe changed recently, so I'm apparently remembering it right. Oh, we don't need this one. That's good. So it says here, you put those together and then you add a rope to this and then it makes a tanning rack. So that is basically what we do. Rope to 2 tied yew shafts, pile of tied yew shafts, and that makes a tanning rack. So there we go. We have the tanning rack. So if we now bring in a bison, we'll have what we need. Now, before I can bring in the bison, I think we need to make 1 extra arrow I hope you guys haven't forgotten yet how to make arrows. We take one of these weak sticks that we have in the farm, tie it with a rope so it becomes a tight stick. Then we go over here and we look for some flint. I see some over there, but I know there's also some flint over here. There we go. Hit the flint. Take one flint and hit it with a sharp stone. This is now an arrowhead. Add the arrowhead to this thing. We need a feather, so we need to go and bother a goose. Also going to take this with me, this little knife. There's a goose. The goose for us to bother. Steal the egg, toss it down, and bother the goose. Then steal its feather. Now with the feather, hit that with your knife. Take out your arrow again and put the fletching on, and that is now a perfect little arrow that you got. What else have I got? A knife, a sharp stone. I don't think I'll be needing the sharp stone for my journey. I am taking the knife and I am taking one arrow. And I also need my regular bow and arrow. And I wonder where I left it at any point. Curious. I'm also going to eat some food, of course, because if you're going hunting, you don't want to go hungry in the middle of the hunt. I'll take this carrot with me for the road. And I'm wondering where I left the bow and arrow. It's likely that I left it at the smithy. This is where I've been collecting a lot of things. So let's see. Do I see bow and arrow? Yes, I do see it. Here it is. So we have 2 arrows now and 1 bow. We have a knife with us, which is going to serve as well. And we have extra food with us, a carrot. And now we need to find a bison. Now over here is a turkey. That's the wrong animal. We do not need a turkey. And the bison is usually in the yellow biome. So we're just going for a walk in the yellow biome and we hope that we will find a bison in here at some point soon. I might die doing this. Hunting bison is not without danger. If I die for this video, it's going to be super embarrassing, but yeah, it's just the way it's gotta be. Also, you can see I've zoomed out quite a bit and I do not see any bison. I do see turkeys, 2 turkeys and a boar. Oh, there's a bison. Okay. Now, before I start shooting it, we wait for a baby. It has a baby, so this is really good. And then stand in an L shape if you can and try and hit it. Okay, 1 goes in. I'm just gonna run down fast as I can, get away from that animal. Oh, yikes, it's already coming for me. Try again. Oh, those were lucky hits, man. It's possible you miss. Then you need to run back for your arrow, especially if you only have 2. Now you see there's a dead bison with a calf here. I will take my arrows out. That's 1. That's 2. And now this little bison, I need a rope for it. And you might say, oh, Jesse, you're so stupid. You forgot the rope. Not really. Because a bow and a knife. If I break my bow, I got a rope. Now this little stick does need to stay here, but that's not the worst thing in the world. And we are going to take this little bison with us. I am going to mark the big bison here. Mark bison. There we go. Now that leather over there, I could tan it. And then I'd have my first tanned leather. And that would be enough leather for making a horse. But I might just wait for the baby instead. And instead kill a cow. And then go back later for the leather there and make a hat out of it. Because you can make a hat out of bison leather, so... You might say, Jesse, but you have so many hats as it is, and it's only 1 person. And I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, I want to show you guys, you know, some more recipes, so... So what I've done, I've fed the bison calf. It's gonna grow up very soon. And then it's gonna have baby cows. So this bison calf is sort of domesticated. I stole it from the wild and it's being raised in my farm. And so it will be a domesticated bison, which works differently than the bison in the wild. And then this one's going to give me domestic cows as babies. And it works like that for all the wild animals. You can do the same thing with a boar, and you get pigs. You can do the same thing with a mouflon, and you get sheep. But now the domestic bison is over here. You can see that it has uses. It's just going down every time it moves. And once it reaches 0, it will have a baby. And then it will move again. It will have uses again. And it's going to move that baby around. And at some point, the baby separates from the mother. And then you just feed it some corn. There's the baby. Look, we got a baby over here. And I am gonna move this over here. I am sort of regretting not having a bow anymore, but it's sort of okay because we can just do this. Now we have a bow again. We also need arrows if we're ever going to kill the cow. I would like another rope though, and that's no problem because I think I have more ropes around here. There we go. Another rope. There we go. And the baby bison, the baby has separated. I will now feed it. So this thing has been fed. It will grow into a big one really soon. I'm going to prepare the next batch for the next cow. Here we go. And we're very close to getting our horse cart now. It's not going to be very long. I do need to double check for a second if I have some more ropes. I thought I did, but I have been using quite a bit, haven't I? Because there's a lasso on the horse. And then I used a rope, no, 2 ropes on the 3 ropes on the tanning rack. So yeah, now I could go in the pen and kill the cow here, but if I miss and I shoot my domestic bison, I'll be in trouble. So what I prefer to do is get the cow out and shoot it when it's away from the bison. And now the bison was never in any danger, and I can kill the cow, skin it with my knife, and we put this on the tanning rack. And this over here is a skinned cow that we can cut into little pieces, and that's gonna be some good food for us too. We can cook the beef like we cooked up this pork, and yeah, it's gonna be very lovely. Now, there's the choice between the knives. I have my shitty knife and I have the bronze knife. If I'm gonna cut meat, I prefer to use the bronze knife because it just gives me more meat. And more meat is more food, and more food, that's what we want. So, this one has been fed, and then the other little baby is also gonna come out very soon. So, let's get that one as well. There we go. We got some food for the other baby. The baby still needs to separate. It just separated. We'll be in time to feed it. If I do not feed the baby, it dies. And it dies like within a minute or so. But the bison will also get a new baby really soon. Okay, let's get this cow out of here. And let's already kill it. Now, there's something you need to know. So this tanning rack, how long does it take? We open the crafting guide. It says in 5 minutes it turns into leather. So that's good. This dead cow, if I take the skin off, I just put the skin on the ground, it despawns in 5 minutes. And we don't want to be wasteful with our resources. We don't want our dead cow skin to despawn. So we're just going to let it sit on the dead cow. The dead cow does not despawn. It will just sit here very, very dead. So we'll leave it like that. And that's going to be our dead cow. Then this domestic cow, it can live a little bit longer. I don't need that much leather to begin with, so I'm kind of okay with it. All right, so while we wait for this, let us go and maybe grab... should we go and grab the dead cow that we... the dead bison? Oh, here's my other ropes. I was wondering where they were. All right, taking that with me, and also a needle. And then we're going to the dead cow. I think we'll have enough time for that, and just clean up the stuff from the dead bison. I keep saying dead cow, I mean the dead bison, the one that we shot and stole its baby from. Not very nice of us, I know, but you know. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, and so does a woman. So here we are. Putting down our ropes, things, and we're waiting for the leather to turn brown. And at this point, let us go get the resources. I have a good knife with me. Still have some food with me. And I would like a basket with me as well. Just so I have enough room in here. And we're going to go to the other side of the river, and that's where we killed the bison. Somewhere. Can't remember where exactly, but I think we'll find it, because I just followed the yellow biome, right? I didn't stray from the yellow biome. I came this way. And then I was like, oh look, there's a bison. And here it is. Here's the bison, here's my stick. So, to cut it loose, I used a shitty knife, because it's okay if this one breaks. And now this bison skin, you can see if you use needle and thread, you make yourself a bison hat, or you can tan it. I feel, oh man. Oh, I can't put it in here? No. But it doesn't despawn, does it? It does not. Now to cut this skinned bison, we use a good knife. Look how much meat. 6 meat from 1. So that is so much meat. So we take this, and we take this. I don't believe I can't take this. God damn it. I thought I could put it in a cart, and apparently I couldn't. But, you know, this just goes to show that even if you play this game for nearly 4,000 hours, you will still forget things and make silly mistakes. It just happens. Okay, I'm taking this flat stone too. You're like, why are you taking this flat stone, Jesse? I'm like, I don't know, but it might become useful at some point. So I'm taking this flat stone with me into my camp. I mean, I'm making the journey as it is. Might as well take something useful with us, right? Now, flat stones can be used a little bit in cooking and such. So I'll just probably leave it over here. We already have a flat stone, but it's fine. We'll have another one. There we go. Take this with us. It still hasn't turned into leather we want, but we will take needle and thread. Yeah, and I will just go back. I will go back for our bison. Now look how much meat we got over here. This is so nice. Now, I think that once you reach this point, you should try making chili. And you might be like, what? Make chili with us, Jesse. And I kind of want you to test for yourself once you have this beef, once you have tomatoes, onions, and peppers, which we all have in the farm. We have onion, pepper, tomato, and beef. And we have made crock pots with pottery during one of our first lives. You are ready to make chili. Oh, and also corn and dried corn goes in there as well. So I think you're ready for that. I think you can do it. But you will need to use the crafting guide. And while we walk back, I'm going to teach you how to use it to make something you don't own yet, because it can be a little complex if you're like, but yeah, how do I get started with the crafting guide if I don't know what I want to make? So we will type in our chat / and then chili. I think it's 1L. If not, I'm going to see it very soon. It has no results. I think it's 2Ls. I don't know how to spell chili. There we go, chili. So it says searching chili, clear by typing /. Okay, so if you type /, it's gone, and then if you touch something like rice, it will go back to rice, right? But if I type chili again, /chili, and then I touch the rice, it doesn't matter. I'm stuck on this recipe now until I decide to do something else. So I can just carry this home and at the same time show you guys what to do here. So this says, how do I use chili? Not correct. This says, how do I make? Okay. So what it says here, we're going back from the end to the front, right? It says here you need to cook it for 30 seconds on some hot coals, it seems. So yeah, it says hot coals and raw chili con carne. Okay. So we're going to see how do we get raw chili con carne. So it remains on how do I make, and you click raw chili con carne. So one of the last steps is adding water. Simple. Oh, but now I clicked the bowl of water instead of the chili. So now I'm like, crap. Now I've got 22 recipes for bowls of water. Where is my chili recipe? I promise it's in here somewhere, but yeah, this isn't ideal, is it? I kind of ruined it, and now we're like, where's the chili? We can't find the chili anywhere over here, and I don't see it either. So yeah, does that mean it's not in there? It might be, but at that point it can be time to just type / and just go back to chili and just go back that way. So we know now we need to add water at some stage when it's dry chili con carne. And then we're going to add soaked beans. We have beans over here. Then we're also going to add pork or carnitas. Wait, can't we make chili with beef anymore? Am I mistaken? It might be pork, guys. I'm so sorry. I kept telling you guys you could make it with beef, and now it's like, no, it's pork only. Has it always been pork only? Probably. Darn it, and we cooked the pork before. But if you go and kill another boar, which there are always plenty of, you could do that. And then it says, if you have an empty clay crock, you add chopped tomato and onion with a hot pepper on a plate. And if you're like, okay, empty clay crock, I got that. I don't need the recipe for that. But how do I make chopped tomato and onion with hot pepper? You add a hot pepper to chopped tomato and onion. And to make chopped tomato and onion, you chop tomato on a plate and you chop onion on a plate. If you're like, how do I chop tomato? It tells you put a tomato on a plate and just hit it with a knife. Preferably a good knife. It doesn't work with a shitty knife. And that's how you get the ingredients for chili con carne. I'm really surprised it doesn't work with the beef. That is very disappointing, but it is the way it is. Anyway, we're back. We can continue. I know this video is one of the longer ones, but making a horse cart is such a good thing to do. And look, we've learned to make a new hat as well. Put on my new hat. Is this hat better than the other one? Let's double check. So it says 17.5 seconds per food pip. For this one, it is also 17.5. So we haven't really gotten an upgrade, but at least it's not worse than the previous hat, and we've got a fancy new hat now, so why not? So yeah, now we have this leather on a tanning rack. If you take it off, you see that you get 6 leather in total, which is, in some people's opinion, maybe a little bit too much, but it is handy that we do get so much from it. And we're just gonna continue drying the next leather, cutting this beef, and now it's time to make a saddle and a bridle. And I've got a video on making horse carts in Advanced Town 2, where I explain this as well. Basically, all you need for one horse cart is 3 leather. So if you have these piles, you can make two sets of horse carts with that. And I am hungry, so let us go and eat something. Okay, so how do we start? We cut the 3 pieces all in half, and I'm using the shitty knife for this. All goes in half, right? Then we're gonna put 4 of them together, and the others we're gonna separate. And now these that we've separated, we're gonna hit it with a knife, like this, right? And now this is even smaller, as you can see. Then one of these tiny pieces we'll put on these 4, and this is now 4 full and 2 cut leather sheets, is how it's called. Right, so this is what we got. And if we use the needle and thread on it, this becomes our saddle. It's part for the horse later on. Now this thing, the 4 pieces of cut leather sheet, we're going to use that too. We're going to add a lasso. And then we are going to add needle and thread, and we're going to sew this. So it's basically a lasso and 4 pieces of cut leather sheet. And this becomes the bridle. That is actually everything. So now we take our little hand cart here and we're going to assemble our horse. And that's basically it for this video. We're so close to getting it done now. So add saddle first, add your work bridle, add your hand cart. And there we go. Now we have a horse and we can finally explore super fast in this area. We can gather things way faster than before. And what my job is going to be now for the rest of this life, but I'm not gonna, keep you guys around to watch all of it. I'm going to be moving the iron that I got over here at the mine. I'm going to be moving that into the smithy, and I'm going to be so much faster moving it. And then for the next video, I think I'm gonna teach you guys how to make rubber so that you guys can make your horse even better. And making rubber, very important. You'll also need it once you start making engines. And we might make a rubber ball as well, so that we are ready to make a blueprint as well. So we're going to make rubber wheels for the horse and a rubber ball. And what I will be doing off stream, I'm going to be making extra buckets. Now, I think I've already shown you how to make buckets, haven't I? Because I think we have a bucket, don't we? I'm thinking now. I think I showed you how to make a bucket. You know what? I'm not going to do it in between streams. I'm going to show you in the next stream how to make buckets, or at least how to make one. And I'm going to make maybe a few buckets off stream. So yeah, that's for next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye.